Did the name Chevy Nova kill sales in Latin America because it meant no-go in Spanish? In a globalized world, companies need to adapt their products and messaging to local markets. There have been misfires along the way. A possible one is the story of how the Chevy Nova, meaning no-go in Spanish, killed sales in Latin America. However, is the story actually true? Throughout history, the world of marketing has seen its fair share of legends and myths. Some of them hilarious, some of them surprising, and some just too good to be true. But few have been as persistent as the tale of the Chevy Nova, supposedly a car that couldn't sell in Spanish-speaking countries because its name meant no-go. The truth behind the Chevy Nova myth, a marketing urban legend. For decades, people have shared this story as an example of a major marketing blunder. According to the myth, when Chevrolet launched the Nova in Latin American markets, they failed to realize that Nova sounds like Nova, which in Spanish means doesn't go. As a result, the car supposedly didn't sell. But is this story actually true? Logically, the story of the Chevy Nova no-go makes sense. When seeing a car with a name that translates as no-go in Spanish, Latin American car shoppers naturally would not want to buy it. Across the internet, there are thousands of references to the Chevy Nova incident. Additionally, marketing textbooks cite the incident when discussing cultural differences in advertising. However, the story of the Chevy Nova no-go is a myth, an urban legend. It never actually happened. Like many urban legends, the Chevy no-go story was repeated so many times that people believed it to be true. Also, similar to other urban legends, the Chevy no-go story has a small element of truth, for Nova does mean no-go. Contrary to popular belief though, the Chevy Nova sold well in Latin America. In Venezuela, the Nova actually exceeded sales projections from Chevrolet. If you can speak Spanish, you likely understand why the Chevy no-go story is a myth. For one, in Spanish, Nova and Nova don't sound the same, and most people would not confuse them. It would be like saying carpet and car, pet. They sound different and have different meanings. Also, Nova would be a highly unusual way to describe a car that can't drive or function. The more appropriate Spanish phrase to use is no funciona. Furthermore, there's a gasoline brand in Mexico that uses the Nova name. If a Nova gasoline could be sold in a Latin American country like Mexico, the use of Nova for a car name would be an unlikely hindrance to car sales. In addition to the Chevy Nova no-go story, there are several other stories of Spanish mistranslation. The Got Milk campaign used "Tienes leche" for the Spanish version. In Spanish, "Tienes leche" translates as, "Are you lactating?" The Coors Beer Let It Loose campaign used the translated slogan, "Suéltalo con Coors." Literally, this means, "Let it go loose with Coors." People might have confused this as slang for Coors makes people suffer from diarrhea. In Latin America, Nestlé was unsuccessful in selling Nescafé instant coffee. This is because people might have mistaken Nescafé to be no es café, or it isn't coffee. For an advertising campaign to demonstrate that its pens don't leak, Parker Pen used the slogan, "It won't stain your pocket and embarrass you." The company translated the slogan to "No manchará tu bolsillo, ni te embarazará." However, instead of to embarrass, embarazar means to be pregnant. As a result, the slogan translates to, "It won't stain your pocket and get you pregnant." With the possible expectation of the Got Milk, Tienes leche campaign, all of these stories are probably urban legends. Despite this, and the fact that the Chevy Nova no-go story is a myth, it doesn't diminish the need to be attentive to cultural variances of local markets around the world. The world is more globalized than ever before. To make a profit, companies increasingly rely on the sales of their products in international markets. Countries have different languages and cultures. Because of this, companies need to adapt their products and messaging to best meet the unique needs and preferences of each country. So next time you hear someone tell the story of the Chevy Nova, you'll know the truth. It wasn't a marketing disaster. It was just a great car with a name that got caught up in a story that was almost too good not to share. But remember, the real lesson here is about how we understand and navigate cultural differences, whether you're driving a car or building a global brand. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more myths.